Welcome. My name is Mark van Wees, and I'm a researcher at Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences in the area of local energy transition and climate mitigation in the city. In my work, I've become increasingly aware of the rather fundamental barrier, or in other words, challenge in research and innovation in this area, and in particular in one big ongoing project we are working on, Atelier. And that is the trend towards holism in research and innovation and the challenges it poses. So let me first introduce the topic at hand, energy positive districts. This is based on the hypothesis that it is better to optimize your strategies and your models towards energy positive and climate change cities when you go beyond the scope of individual buildings, and that you try to exploit the benefits, the interventions at a district level. So energy positive districts, they should be energy efficiency, a lot of renewable energy. They should produce a net greenhouse gas emissions, a surplus energy towards the outside world, should be affordable, obviously. Social, economic and environmental sustainability in the district should be complied with. Affordability, security of energy services, the energy transition and for the individual citizens should be secured. So obviously social issues need to be addressed, and there is a definite economic element to positive energy districts, for instance, because it will require new energy products and services. So big and complex. So what does that mean for the research and innovation on designing, developing and operating PEDs? So what kind of domains and disciplines are involved? And obviously these are a lot. You have the traditional technology perspectives, you design energy systems, you develop technology, you include storage and flexibility technologies, you develop smart grids, and that requires, of course, a large contribution from ICT, design of energy management systems, also local energy trading platforms. The social dimension is reflected in different domains. You want to co-design the PED with your future inhabitants and other stakeholders. Often PEDs are associated with the changing of lifestyle. The people need to co-design and uptake the technologies, and energy citizenship and local market player are also overarching objectives associated with PEDs. You look at the economic innovation, social cost and benefits, but also the business case and business modeling for the new projects and services that you require. Governance is a big thing. You need to governance the technical system. You need to govern the energy communities, data and privacy in these data intensive systems is important, and how to deal with all the stakeholders that you want to involve. Policy and planning, PEDs need to be incorporated in energy scenarios, energy transition in the city strategies and plans. There's a strong local and regulatory element, and for instance, that involved in the decentralization of energy markets, and the whole thing is one big innovation. So how to deal with the innovation cycle towards rollout and upscaling of PEDs. So if you want to tackle that in one project, one single research and innovation project, well, the example of our project Atelier, which is focused on all these elements in PEDs, it's big. It's 20 million, 5 years, and we have a team of 50 to 70 researchers, 30 partners, 8 cities involved. So this trend towards holistic and integrated approaches leads to big projects, and there's already from the research community some observations, and this is one from a survey that Science Business conducted among researchers in Europe. Definitely a call to limit, to focus the project. The projects ask for the impossible. So this is definitely in line with what I'm saying here. Let's look at PED in particular. What does it mean, this complexity, and why is it complex? And one thing we noticed is that these different disciplinary researchers bring different perspectives and framing. And this is, of course, a bit polarized, but in general, it is correct. The energy system analysts on the left-hand side looks and sees the smart grid, sees the technology, looks at the operation of the battery, for instance, and the PV. The sociologists look at the PET and sees a community, or the development of the community, looks at inclusivity and a just transition. The economist looks at the business models. People need to make money out of the new products and services. It should become available on the market. And on the right-hand side, the ICT developer looks at the requirements of data analysis, and is building the platforms. So this is a bit of the overall problem analysis. So if you work with these holistic projects, how to ensure that your impact, your results of R&D is not diluted by the complexity of it all. Well, you start with this demand for increased holism and integration that requires more intervention to be researched, more disciplines and more impact policy domains to be included. Projects become larger and more complex. Automatically that leads to more overhead, internal communication, organization and cooperation. Fortunately, there are two solution directions I can imagine. First of all, there is potential to strengthen interdisciplinary through new interdisciplinary research methods and approaches. Secondly, the project design as it is currently could be more effective. Let me see what that means for PEDs. Well, we need to be careful. Multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, they are often differently used. Multidisciplinary is what I see is now more or less common practice, with exceptions, of course. It really is built up among different disciplinary approaches, although the interest is common, but the vision and perspective is different. Self-contained and little cross-fertilization. The big step towards interdisciplinary is that you share the body of knowledge, you work with common research methodologies, and you work towards one conclusion, one research result. If you go beyond transdisciplinary, then you add also the co-creation and the co-work with non-academic partners. So that would be an ideal situation. So fortunately, there's a lot around in interdisciplinary research methods and approaches, from both that are partly already applied to the energy transition, partly they originate from different disciplines. So, and these are quite different, and I don't know everything about all of them. So there is, of course, the technical economic modeling that can be extended with different perspective. You can look at it as from a research perspective, theory of change, agent-based modeling. You can focus your theory and your research framework around institutions, stakeholders, or the technology. You can put values at the center, and there's so many innovation diffusion theories. So there's a lot around with which you can work. Second is the project design. On the top, the traditional design, where you basically structure your work package among perspective and discipline. So this is also what we use in Atelier. You have a demonstration project, and those people are in a separate work package. We have technology, we have the citizens engagement, where the sociologists reside, the economists, they reside in a work package on business. Replication, cooperation, and innovation is also a separate work package. And this is an important barrier for interdisciplinary work. So to put another perspective, you could also structure your project around specific innovation, and that you work on an innovation with an interdisciplinary team that matches what is required in this specific innovation. So that could be a technology innovation where you need to incorporate sociologists and economists. It could be a social innovation where you include technical people to provide that framework. So to summarize, what is the next steps? What we need to do in handling these holistic projects? Well, first of all, I think projects should be open in identifying and reporting on those gaps that exist, and those research and innovation questions that cannot be addressed now because of the lack of interdisciplinarity or because of the project design. That would be the starter point, and then we can try and start applying and evaluating the different interdisciplinary methods and approaches that could complement the current working methods. And that is also a job for the subsidy providers. We should reconsider the default project design and try out different other methodologies or different project structures. It is important that the requirement for holism and integration should not be imposed on the whole research topic, the whole PED, because it is more important in certain areas than in the others. So be specific why you need holism and be specific where it isn't needed. And finally is that a focus of research and innovation on impact, in this case impact of PEDs and replication of PEDs beyond just realizing the demonstration, could also help in establishing a common vision or a common outlook and research strategy among disciplines. So if you find this topic interesting, please let me know, because that will definitely be on our research agenda for the coming years. Thank you very much.